are different types of proteins that y'all don't know about, but they got y'all thinking that only one protein exists. We have a protein called the E6 protein, and that protein manifests cancer from HPV in the body. That's right. And you have certain proteins that you ingest from foods, especially animals, that actually inactivates or suppresses the immune system and keeps it from turning on defense mechanisms to come to your aid. There are also proteins inside of herpes viruses. Don't you know that viruses carry their own proteins to shut off defense mechanisms in the body? Don't you know that cancer carries its own protein? Well, we're going to get into this today, and I want to take my time with this because a lot of people don't know the detriment of proteins. And the reason why they tell you to eat your animals, or that animals have better proteins, is because they benefit off of you getting sick from the things that manifest from these proteins in animals. You have certain proteins, right, that could turn off switches in genetic material that's supposed to turn on whenever tumors and cancer is in the body. And it says, yes, the E6 protein is a major factor in the development of HPV-associated cancers. And it also inactivates the protein 53, that's the P53. And the P53 protein has a lot to do with eradicating tumors and cancer. So if the E6 protein suppresses or inactivates the P53 protein, right, then that means that this protein is very detrimental. But where can we find this E6 protein? Let's get to it. And it states, the E6 protein is a viral oncoprotein found in animals that is encoded by the human HPV genome. So when you are eating animals, this protein, this is one of the proteins that is inside of animals that causes HPV and cancer, y'all. So here it is. Let's go forward. Okay, let's talk about an SEC24C protein. The SEC24C protein. This is a protein that actually fuels HIV. It helps it to thrive and to replicate throughout the central nervous system, because that's what HIV is. It's the infection of the nervous system. So let's take a look at this protein. And it says, the SEC24C is a protein that helps HIV navigate through a cell by binding to the virus's capsid cell. Where can we find this SEC24C protein? And it says the SEC24C is a protein in animals that plays a key role in the transport of newly synthesized proteins from the endoplasmic reticulum to the Golgi. So this protein is in all animals, people. When you take an animal DNA and you bind it with human DNA, it throws off your inflammatory response system. It confuses the body and shuts down your defense mechanisms. These proteins actually trick your immune system and keep your immune system from protecting you. All right, let's go to the ICP8 protein. What is the ICP8 protein? ICP8 protein is found in animals, and you wouldn't believe what it causes in the body. That's right, a lot of y'all think that y'all got a lot of your STDs from your partners, but it's from what you're eating. Let's get to it. And it says, the ICP8 protein is a single-stranded DNA binding protein found in animal viruses, including the herpes simplex virus type 1 HSV1. So a lot of you don't know that the proteins inside of these animals creates a viral structure in your body because it does not identify with your biochemical structure. So it converts into the STDs once these proteins hit your biochemical structure. And it goes on to say, it said, yes, herpes is an animal virus that can also infect humans. Herpes is an animal virus that can also infect humans. And you can find it in fish, reptiles, birds, mammals, amphibians, and so on and so forth. So a lot of you don't know that the proteins in animals, when it is shocked by certain cortisol due to stress and trauma inside of that animal, it converts it into the viral load of HPV or HSV. Now let's go to the ENDO-A3 protein, the ENDO-A3 protein. This is a protein that actually fuels cancer cells, helps it to replicate and spread throughout the body to its final stages. Also, this protein makes the cancer stronger depending on the environment. And this is why I tell y'all that healing comes with the environment as well, because if your environment is stressed, then there's certain proteins in the body that will relay messages to your cells to either suppress the illness or to make it larger. Let's get into it. And it says that the endo-A3 protein helps cancer cells both spread and grow. The balance of endo-A3's effects depends on the signals the cell receives from its environment and the mutations it has accumulated, meaning that your environment can mutate your diseases. So if you are in a stressful environment around stressful people, I'm telling you, your body can read frequencies, and it takes in information that is traveling through these frequencies and processes in your genetic material and can shut down your defense mechanisms. Remember I told y'all that cancer produces its own protein and shuts down the immune system? It tricks it from being able to detect it in the body, and sometimes it can make the immune system overly work, which causes your body to attack you. And this keeps the cancer in the body from being detected. Let's move on and look at this. And it says that cancer cells often produce proteins that effectively turn off the body's immune system and the mechanisms allowing them to evade detection and grow unchecked. This is achieved by expressing molecules like PD-L1 on their surface, which binds to immune cells and signals them to stop attacking, essentially putting the immune system on hold, so it turns off all of your defense switches, keeping them from being detected. Now, we have to stop eating animals, because this is where these proteins are. Let's look at it further, and it says, yes, cancer cells can emit proteins, often called checkpoint proteins, that essentially trick the immune system by signaling to immune cells to not attack them, allowing the cancer to evade detection and continue growing. This mechanism is a key way cancer cells can escape immune surveillance. But there are phytochemicals that can turn these switches on and attack. Enzymes is a big key. Well, I've always said that cancer is a parasite. So if cancer can emit proteins, then let's see if parasites can emit proteins. Because if they're alike, then they're supposed to be able to do the same things. Let's get to it. And it says, yes, parasites emit proteins that can impact the host immune response and the parasite survival. The helmet protein, that's a certain type of parasite. And it says these proteins are derived from parasitic worms and can cause an immune reaction. They can alter the host immune response to promote the parasite's longevity, meaning that it can allow the parasite to survive in the body for long periods of time, laying infections that can potentially become STDs. And not only that, cancer as well. So when they told you that proteins was good for you, that it gives you power, gives you strength, it fuels you, no, it don't. It gives the things that's in your body that suppresses your health, that makes them rich, power to fuel and strength, not you. The only place you'll get so-called good proteins is from plants, because they are untampered with and they haven't been touched. So there are phytochemicals that can agitate certain genetic material and proteins to turn those switches back on to attack cancer, STDs, and things like that. Because a lot of people and herbalists that run around and say that they can heal, but they don't understand the chemistry of the biochemical structure and the acids and the enzymes and how they bond at certain periods of times and in environments during stress and certain emotions. And this is why people who come to me, I tell them it's a mental game first. Stop eating the things that feed the diseases or demons and wake up as if you don't have it. You can't just give a person a herb and tell them that this is going to heal you. Diseases start unseen first, meaning from the spiritual, mental to the physical. And you have to eradicate it on all three planes of existence. I love y'all. Peace.